This episode is brought to you by Paddle. Don't settle for less when you can have more, MOR, with Paddle, your merchant of record. Eliminate the headaches of payments, grow your revenue everywhere, and focus on what you do best, building your product. Get more revenue with less hassle at paddle.com. Okay, guys, I got a serious update for you. You heard me talk about SEMA and the product roadmap radar. I just caught up with Matt, who's the founder there, and he gave me the latest on what they are building. And my mind is blown. The team at SEMA are taking things to the next level. Built around the core of the product roadmap radar, i.e. code and JIRA analysis, they are building agent orchestration across the product lifecycle. Picture this. You hook up this system same as before, i.e. integrate your repository and your backlog, JIRA today. From that point, SEMA's agent analyzes the codebase and makes suggestions as to what needs to be done next and what could improve, optimize the product. Then, if those tasks are routine, the agent assigns the task to a coding agent, think something like Devin, to complete the minutia, while assigning the human-in-the-loop task to engineers themselves. What you end up with is engineers focusing on building core competency features, while AI handles all the rest. If you're not salivating right now, I don't think you fully understand what this means. But here's what I would suggest. Right now, their product is in a closed beta, and SEMA is looking for folks to sign up for their Product Intelligence Advisory Board. This gives you the opportunity to use the product, give feedback, help shape the future of what's built. Oh, and not to mention additional free usage of the product potentially through the end of 2026. So, if that fits your workflow and toolset, you need to reach out today. Go to codestory.co/nextlevel, NEXTLEVEL, and reach out to Matt at SEMA to learn more and join the Product Intelligence Advisory Board. Again, that's codestory.co/nextlevel. This episode is sponsored by Postman. Postman is the world's leading API platform, trusted by 98% of the Fortune 500 and over 40 million developers. Tap into APIs from 18,000 plus companies to power agents that make smarter decisions. Learn more at postman.com/podcast/codestory. This message is sponsored by Melee Search. Today, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone. And Melee Search gives your users the experience they need with lightning-fast performance, full-text search, AI usage, and multimodal capabilities. Melee Search delivers relevant results in less than the blink of an eye. Use the promo code CODESTORY at checkout to get 2 months free at meleesearch.com. That's MEILI search.com. This episode is brought to you by PropelOff. People take authentication for granted, but it's more than how customers log into your product. It's how you manage your relationship with your users. The easiest way to make authentication your advantage is to use PropelOff. PropelOff is more than just functional. It's powerful. With tools like Managed UIs, Enterprise SSO, robust user management features, and actionable insights, PropelOff adapts as your product grows. And the best part? When auth is effortless, your team can focus on scaling, not troubleshooting. That means more releases, happier customers, and more growth for your business. Save dev time, win over your customers, and propel your business forward with PropelOff. Check them out at propeloff.com. That's PROPELAUTH.com.
When we released that insights tool, the feedback was, hey, this is like really interesting, but prove to me that it works. And we were like, what do you mean? Nobody can prove that it works. That's been impossible. This is like the age-old question in engineering. Every founder struggled with this, of understanding like how much work is my engineering team getting done. What we did is we went and built a model to actually measure engineering work. So how did we do this? We had to train our own custom machine learning model. Ultimately, it's trained on like thousands and thousands of PRs, like hand-labeled PRs, to measure how much work is actually getting done and how long these PRs should take. I'm Adam Cohen, the co-founder and CEO of Weave.
This is Code Story, a podcast bringing you interviews with tech visionaries.
Spent 6 months moonlighting.
There's nothing on the back end.
Who share what it takes to change an industry.
I don't exactly know what to do next.
Took many goes to get right.
who built the teams that have their
A
back,
company is its
The
people.
teams help each other achieve
I was
more.
proud of our team.
keeping scalability top of mind.
All that infrastructure was a
Yes,
pain.
we've been fighting it as we grow.
Total waste of time.
The stories you don't read in the headlines.
It's not an easy thing to achieve, mind
Took it
you.
off the shelf and dusted it off and tried it again.
To ride the ups and downs of the startup life.
You need to really want it.
It's not just about technology.
All this and more on Code Story.
I'm your host, Noah Labhart, and today, how Adam Cohen is giving you engineering metrics for the AI era, combining LLMs and domain-specific ML. Adam Cohen grew up in Toronto and North York. He showed early signs of entrepreneurship by putting his lemonade stand on a wagon and taking it door to door, or hustling his friends to buy souvenirs on a school field trip. His dad was in VC and was a big influence on his life, pushing him hard to succeed. But outside of his professional life, he's big into sports, specifically basketball. In the past, he loved playing fantasy sports, which also influenced how he built his business ventures. Adam and his team went through several iterations of AI tooling, summarizing Slack, integrating Git and JIRA, etc. While they were doing this, they realized that the best way to make a difference was to first focus on the data itself. This is a creation story of Weave.
Ultimately, what we do is we combine machine learning with LLMs to show engineering teams how much work is getting done, how good it is, and how much is done by AI. So we got here on a bit of a long and windy road, but ultimately where we started is around going from Slack summarization to insights for engineers. But the kind of vision here is we want to build Gong for the engineering teams. And we just realized that to do that, you actually have to start with really good data, which you're not able to get anywhere right now. The first iteration was Andrew and I wanted to create something that was just summarizing Slack. Using AI to summarize all of your work, we started with Slack, then we want to integrate your Git, your JIRA, and say, here's what went on this week, here are the actions that you need to take, here's what went well, and here's where things could improve. We joke now that we think this is like the AI modern tar pit idea. I think everyone has tried some iteration of this. So we released that to the wild after about a week of work, and the feedback was quite constructive, to say the least. In general, just people felt like it was noisy and it wasn't actually solving any pain. From there, what we decided was, okay, we need to get a bit more advanced in the insights we're providing. So we actually started building out a platform not in Slack, and it was focused just around insights. So an insight could be for engineering, it was like your PR size is too big, and it would actually scan the PR, run it through an LLM and say, based on what you were doing, you actually had 2 or 3 different focuses in this one PR, and it should have been split into multiple PRs. For those listening that are non-technical, I'm not sure how many those will be, but think of a PR as like a task. That's how we like to describe it to non-technical folks. So if one task is too big, it's actually recommending breaking it down into like smaller tasks.
I'm curious now about the MVP for Weave, maybe the MVP of the version of what it is right now. How long did it take to build, which probably is a combination of a bunch of things, and what sort of tools were you using to bring it to life?
Ultimately, when we released that insights tool, the feedback was, hey, this is like really interesting, but prove to me that it works. And we were like, what do you mean? Nobody can prove that it works. That's been impossible. This is like the age-old question in engineering. Every founder struggled with this, of understanding like how much work is my engineering team getting done. What we did is we went and built a model to actually measure engineering work. So how did we do this? We had to train our own custom machine learning model. And ultimately, it's trained on like thousands and thousands of PRs, like hand-labeled PRs, to measure how much work is actually getting done and how long these PRs should take. So that took us about 2 to 3 weeks to get the base version out. Obviously, we've had to continue to fine-tune it since. And that was about November last year before we officially launched it.
You know, when you're building anything, you've got to make decisions and trade-offs around, how you're going to approach the problem. And I think you touched on a few things that I could probably cherry pick, but I just want to ask directly, What is maybe the biggest decision or trade-off you had to make in that early version of Weave, and how you coped with it?
I think some of the early trade-offs that we had to make was this like insights versus data. Ultimately, our vision is like we want to be the helper to every single knowledge worker that's reading all of your data and being able to provide very specific action items of here's where you can improve. We believe that there will always be like humans in the loop, and like that kind of is where we're going to piggyback off. So the trade-off here is, okay, you can veer off your like initial plan of just providing insights and go the data route or not. You could either do the insights or you can go down the data route. And what we ultimately decided was for best use for our customers, as well as to actually get first paying users, we had to go down this data road. So that's what we built. And that's why we started there. And now we're starting to really explore getting back to more of the insight side of the platform.
Okay, guys, I got a serious update for you. You heard me talk about SEMA and the product roadmap radar. I just caught up with Matt, who's the founder there, and he gave me the latest on what they are building. And my mind is blown. The team at SEMA are taking things to the next level. Built around the core of the product roadmap radar, i.e. code and JIRA analysis, they are building agent orchestration across the product lifecycle. Picture this. You hook up this system same as before, i.e. integrate your repository and your backlog, JIRA today. From that point, SEMA's agent analyzes the codebase and makes suggestions as to what needs to be done next and what could improve, optimize the product. Then, if those tasks are routine, the agent assigns the task to a coding agent, think something like Devin, to complete the minutia, while assigning the human-in-the-loop task to engineers themselves. What you end up with is engineers focusing on building core competency features, while AI handles all the rest. If you're not salivating right now, I don't think you fully understand what this means. But here's what I would suggest. Right now, their product is in a closed beta, and SEMA is looking for folks to sign up for their Product Intelligence Advisory Board. This gives you the opportunity to use the product, give feedback, help shape the future of what's built. Oh, and not to mention additional free usage of the product, potentially through the end of 2026. So, if that fits your workflow and toolset, you need to reach out today. Go to codestory.co/nextlevel, NEXTLEVEL, and reach out to Matt at SEMA to learn more and join the Product Intelligence Advisory Board. Again, that's codestory.co/nextlevel. This episode is brought to you by Paddle. As a startup, you face unique challenges to stay competitive. You and your team need to stay focused on your product, not your payments. You need to do more MOR and DIY less with Paddle. Paddle is your merchant of record, becoming the seller of record for your SaaS transactions, enabling your team to focus on what's important, your product. Paddle handles all payment management across multiple gateways and methods, taking ownership of tax liability while remaining compliant with regulations across all markets. The platform handles all aspects of SaaS billing models, upgrades, add-on, trials, and more. Let's look at the results. MOR revenue optimization is built into Paddle and accounts for up to 16% higher conversion rates, reduced payment failures, localized pricing, and churn prevention, recovering 40% of cancellations. Their developer-friendly tools are API first with comprehensive documentation, removing the burden from your engineers. With Paddle as your merchant of record, you'll generate more revenue, find and keep more customers, grow faster, and stay compliant everywhere. So what are you waiting for? Get more revenue with less hassle at paddle.com. This episode is sponsored by Fullscale. Let me guess, your team's shipping sprint velocity looks good, but you're still asking yourself, is anyone actually thinking about the why? Matt Watson's been there. He's the founder behind Vin Solutions and Stackify, and now runs Fullscale with a 300-plus person dev team. And after 2 decades in the trenches, he's seen the same pattern over and over. Smart developers stuck in systems that reward ticket-taking instead of real thinking. That's why he wrote Product Driven, a playbook for tech leaders who are done babysitting developers and ready to build teams that own the outcome. If you're tired of translating every feature, doing all the thinking, or wondering why your smart team is still stuck, this is the fix. Go to productdriven.com/codestory to grab the book and get the bonus toolkit to help your team shift from output to outcomes, like 12 bold ways to get your retros out of robot mode. Again, that's productdriven.com/codestory. Awesome. Okay, that's actually a perfect segue into my next question, Adam. So I'm curious about, how you are progressing and maturing the product. And to kind of wrap that in a box a little bit, what I'm looking for is how you are building your roadmap, how you go about deciding that, okay, this is the next most important thing to build or to address.
We are not in a unique spot. Everyone has to balance their roadmap of what are the customer priorities versus what is your vision, and how do you make those two things align? How do you make sure that you're building for them while still building what you believe is the right solution? What I think is maybe a bit unique right now is it is the fastest changing environment that you could imagine selling to engineering teams. Their needs are changing pretty much every month. The data that we're able to connect with is changing weekly. APIs from Cursor, Windsurf, being able to integrate and take data from Devon, all of this is getting quite complex and changing super quickly. To go back to your question, really what we're doing is we're doing it in sprints where we're looking at here are all the requests from customers. If it can be done really quickly, we're going to go get that done immediately. If not, we're going to really add it to the roadmap, but really try to focus our time on what we believe is going to be the biggest bang for our buck. Specifically right now, that's been focused on AI usage analytics. So understanding who's using AI the best and how to replicate those best practices and start suggesting how teams can actually use AI for their engineering function better.
So how did you go about building your team? And what do you look for in those people to indicate that they're the winning horses to join you?
We look for passion more than anything. I want people that are fanatic about anything previously. So that's our core. That being willing to just be very open-minded are the two kind of core pieces. One of our teammates is a triathlete, Ironman, does every single thing in the book and is super passionate about fitness. Another is obsessed with movies, has watched pretty much a movie every single day, has the biggest laundry list of movies. It's actually been a big bonus for my life getting his list as well. So in general, we just want to find people that are super passionate about things that they've done before and that are passionate about being efficient and bettering themselves, because that's what our product is about as well.
This episode is brought to you by PropelOff. People take authentication for granted, but it's more than how customers log into your product. It's how you manage your relationship with your users. The easiest way to make authentication your advantage is to use PropelOff. PropelOff is more than just functional. It's powerful. With tools like Managed UIs, Enterprise SSO, robust user management features, and actionable insights, PropelOff adapts as your product grows. And the best part? When off is effortless, your team can focus on scaling, not troubleshooting. That means more releases, happier customers, and more growth for your business. Save dev time, win over your customers, and propel your business forward with PropelOff. Check them out at propeloff.com. That's PROPELAUTH.com. This episode is sponsored by MailySearch. In today's digital landscape, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone. And you need a user experience that drives customer satisfaction. You need MailySearch. MailySearch is lightning-fast performance, returning answers in less than 50 milliseconds. Yeah, you heard that right. Faster than the blink of an eye. The open-source AI search engine is plug-and-play, so you can get up and running in minutes with smart presets, allowing you to start searching through your data with zero configuration. MailySearch utilizes advanced full-text search and AI, ensuring your results are ultra-relevant with semantic depth. It's multimodal, supporting images, videos, and audio, along with being federated, i.e. searching across multiple data sources. And it's developer-friendly. Whether you're building a content-rich website or enterprise application, MailySearch delivers the experience your users expect and deserve. For a limited time, CodeStory users can get 2 months free. Use the promo code CODESTORY, all one word, at checkout. Just go to MailySearch.com and get started today. That's MEILI search.com. Let's flip to scalability. I'm really curious about scale and where that comes into play. You can approach scale, right, building it from the beginning, but there's always interesting places where it pops up its head. Can you tell me some stories around where you had to fight scale as you grew?
Transparently, we are just starting to get into these issues. We're still on the earlier stage. So I think one more recent example was our platform's performance just went to complete garbage about a month ago. It was taking 30 seconds a minute for pages to load. And we just realized we had a few customers complain, but we also had a couple of prospects say no to us for that reason. And we just had to go blitz and fix that. So we did a ton of performance optimization, a lot on our queries. And now we're wicked fast again. But it's a perfect example of just we were shipping as fast as we possibly could without performance in mind. It caught up to us and then we had to go fix that. And now I'm sure there's going to be the same issue in another 3 to 6 months from now.
Well, Adam, as you step out on the balcony, look across all that you've built thus far with Weave. What are you most proud of?
Andrew and I were talking about this just recently. We did a product hunt launch last week and also about a year and a week ago, completely coincidentally. And he was just leaving on a trip, first trip he's taken in that year as well. And we were just having a debrief about this. And I think the thing we're most proud of is just about the team that we built. I think the movement that we've started. In general, when we started selling or pushing this narrative that engineering could be measured, pretty much every single person laughed in our face, rejected us, said it wasn't possible, said that we were doing it the wrong way. And since then, it's already the narrative's completely changing, where people are excited about it. They're looking at it as an empowerment tool, as an enhancement or optimization tool. We've had a bunch of competitors attempt to copy us. They're doing a really poor job so far, but I'm excited that they're trying because I do think that everyone should get behind this mindset of everything can be measured and it can be used to really help us if it's used in the right ways.
So let's flip the script a little bit. Tell me about a mistake you made and how you and your team responded to it.
One mistake we made, and I still struggle thinking about what was the right thing to do here, but we were going through our seed fundraising in March, and we also had our biggest enterprise contract on the line. And even though our seed fundraising was able to be wrapped up quite quickly, we ended up losing that deal. And I think it was quite a winnable deal. It would have made a meaningful impact to us as a company. But we lost it because I was spending way too much time talking to investors, dealing with creating a deck, negotiation of those things. And I think what we've learned from that is just no matter what, we need to prioritize our customers, revenue. Fundraising is very important, don't get me wrong. But still, the most important thing is winning these deals. As long as you win, the fundraising will follow.
Adam, this will be fun. I'm curious to hear, the passion in your voice. What does the future look like for Weave, for the product, for what you're building, and for the team?
Ultimately, what we're doing is we're building the operating system for knowledge workers in this AI age. So we really look at engineering as just the beginning. We think it's the perfect testing ground because everything is recorded and therefore should be quantifiable. And engineers are the most skeptical, meaning that if you can win here, similar as Slack, then you can likely win in other spots as well. So our vision is to become this measurement and optimization layer for all of the knowledge workers. And yeah, I guess you can imagine a company where every person, every AI agent is continuously improving, continuously getting feedback, understanding exactly where they can improve. And human potential is really maximized through partnering with these AI tools. We want to be that data layer and that insight layer that makes that really possible.
Adam, let's switch to you. Who influences the way that you work? Name a person or many persons or something you look up to and why.
My dad was a huge influence to me. That was the biggest one, just seeing how he worked, his work ethic, his balance of work and family. That was massive. I think more recently, our Y Combinator partners, specifically Jared Friedman, Eli Brown, Ankit, were instrumental in just how we think about building. They all give Jared he specializes in taking very complex ideas and being able to say them in a single sentence that really packs a punch. And it just made our understanding of ourselves and our product much more clear. Eli brings this like intensity. He probably built one of the best engineering teams around at Gilded. And he really influenced the way that we think about building, and that truly the most important thing is shipping speed. We believe that if we continue to ship and sell, then those are the only two things that matter. And we sign off every single daily stand-up as ship and sell for that exact reason.
Okay, Adam, last question. So you're getting on a plane and you're sitting next to a young entrepreneur who's built the next big thing. They're jazzed about it. They can't wait to show it off to the world and can't wait to show it off to you right there on the plane. What advice do you give that person, having gone down this road a bit?
Show it on the plane. Be fanatical. Take every opportunity you can. I know I'm certainly probably rubbed people the wrong way with how aggressive I've been with selling, but it's a name of the game. Ultimately, I strongly believe that we are massively helping teams get better and helping individuals perform better. If you are starting something, be super realistic with yourself, but sell, take the feedback, iterate, sell, take the feedback, and iterate again.
Well, that's fantastic advice. Well, Adam, thank you for being on the show today, and thank you for telling the creation story of Weave.
I really appreciate your time, and still haven't gotten the chance to interview you yet, but maybe we can save that for another day.
We'll work on that. And this concludes another chapter of Code Story. Code Story is hosted and produced by Noah Labhart. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the podcasting app of your choice. And when you get a chance, leave us a review. Both things help us out tremendously. And thanks again for listening.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.